I want to say something before we dive deeper into this.
Yeah.
I am so sorry I was so passionate about the film that I made you shut up. I apologize for that, my brother.
Shut up. I fucking was rooting for you and then you crushed my boy.
Efra, shut up! I didn't mean to be so rude. It overcame me, okay? I was overcome by emotion.
I'm sure you represented some people in the comments that always say,
I'm so sorry.
I
I want to apologize for that, okay? I'm sorry.
Apology, fucking accepted, and move on. Imagine.
Okay, I love the main actor.
Yeah,
okay?
agreed. Very talented.
I also want to know what the auditioning process for this would have been like, because this is one of those films that, of course, it had a big dialogue section towards the end, the climax of the scene.
It's like the most important scene,
obviously.
the interview.
Is the most important, is the climax of the whole journey. However, though, I don't think that's the type of scene that you audition for, because it's so heavily influenced by other characters. So I wonder what the auditioning setting would have been like. What was Vidu actually looking for in terms of like, how could he, I don't know, materialize the character into a person? Because it's very different when you read it in a book, and especially based in true events. You need actors that not only are organic in their approach, but they're believable, that they are relatable, that the story speaks like the way the book does.
I think also casting-wise, you do need a leading cast that does not have any iconic characters attached to them that are like...
Correct.
You know, the first thing you think about them is something else. I mean, obviously, I think Vikram is a very successful actor.
I think he is too, yes.
But I think he does a lot of like true acting, if you like. You know, a lot of very deep movies. Just based on sort of his resume here, he does have really interesting roles. I mean, Criminal Justice, that was the latest thing that he sort of did like that. That was a Hotstar special. It's a thriller legal drama television series. You know, in the last 10 years, Love Hostel, which I think is also another thriller. So quite weighty sort of character. Teferi, Rampasade Ki Teferi. It's a drama film. So I think you needed a cast like this that can really carry heavy roles. Chapaka, I mean, all the style of films that this guy's involved in.
It's it's definitely a lot of drama films, which I think...
Biographical drama, I mean.
I think, again, he acts with his eyes.
He really does.
And it's not a way that is like, oh, he's been directed to do so. I think it's more of it feels real.
Well, he's 36.
He's not.
He's a young actor.
He looked 18. He looked 18 the whole time.
He's ironically enough in the prime of his career, I guess. And I mean, obviously he has earned now like best actor of all time with 12 Fail.
Well, it's actually really awesome, because I think obviously the director Vidu must have had the time of his life with this cast, because I think a lot of the natural inclinations of the main roles would have been the right instincts, would have been the right things to do. I do agree, though, with the fact that the directing in terms of like screen framing, very, very nicely done.
The coach, the UPSC coach, was actually a genuine UPSC coach.
No way!
Vikas. He casted and he played himself on screen. Wow.
Oh, wow!
And many real-life UPSC aspirants were cast in various roles. According to Masay, it added to the authenticity of the film.
That's what I want to say. The authenticity. That's the word. It is so, like, I love the framing of the scenes, because, like we said throughout the film, it has a very natural feel in terms of like, this is a story of many. It's not a story of one. And like the spotlight is not in the guy that you were following the story from. And I also love the fact that it's narrated by the best friend, the guy that
Pritam.
the guy that didn't make it. I love that we're seeing it from such a different perspective all around.
You know what's wild?
Yes.
You know, in music school,
Yeah.
the lyrics were written by Raftar.
Very nice. I like that.
And Savanande Kirkire.
Oh.
A lot of
Lyrics
Marathi
complete.
television stuff on Hindi, right?
Nice.
But yeah,
Cool.
Shantanu Moitra, I think
Moitra.
did very well. And I think the best way to describe this film in terms of from our reviewing sort of perspective, would be it's a film that really shines in its authenticity.
In its humanity.
Yeah, and it's certainly a film about nuance. I thought, and to be fair, we have watched a ton of movies in the last sort of 14 days, and I am a bit tired of the nuanced ending. I do like a straight, narrow, down the pipe, good ending. Thanks for that.
And you know what I love about this? That the fact that it's a very straightforward story and it moves on a linear path, you get the nuance of life.
It's very linear,
and it explains it, and it highlights the difficulty of life itself. Like, you will be in a hole in the wall. Like, you will have to deal with loss, and it is such a natural progression of things. But at the same time, I think the highlight of this is the humanity.
Yeah, you know, I really like that
It's
scene.
humanity.
I mean, obviously, the scene that I felt sort of like is the most memeable, obviously, or like the one where I felt like the most strongly about is that scene where I think Shraddha's obviously going through her own inner battles.
Right.
And I think to a certain extent, they do get overshadowed to a certain extent by our main character, but she's essentially going through the same thing that he's going through.
Correct.
Because she does become a deputy collector, which me tough. There was a moment there where he was like, it's do or die, right? For basically, for
Both of
Manoj.
them, yeah.
But most specifically for Manoj.
him, yes.
Because bro, this is it.
But I also feel like that this is the point in the film where he becomes a man. He goes from a boy chasing a dream to a man that has a responsibility.
That has been crushed.
Correct.
Right? This is the only way you become a man.
That's true.
Life, basically, your knees have to buckle a few times, and then you learn how to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders, and then you learn to carry the wages of other people. You learn to carry the responsibilities of your family. You learn to carry your own dreams, your own hopes, and then you learn to love, and you learn to also be relentless, but also vulnerable, and they're willing to, to obviously have she's just as capable as he is.
Correct.
Arguably enough, probably even smarter, because you saw the accolades and all this other stuff, so maybe naturally smarter. But what makes him so special is his relentlessness to quit.
Yes.
And he has gotten his family in so much trouble. Their morality, their honesty, their attempt to do good in a rotten system.
And these are the things that actually tear a lot of people apart.
1000%.
And I think, I don't have any qualms. And that's a big thing for me. That's a big statement for me, okay? I have zero qualms with
I
this film.
actually don't have that big of a fucking issue with that. I'm just saying, if you're trying to poke at things something, because it seems like the movie is actually perfect, which is what the
That's bizarre. Guys, I pick at films so much.
Yeah, maybe
even when I love them, okay?
Really interesting.
This was such a genuine, awesome experience.
And we shouldn't review to look for criticisms, but it is.
No, but
it
you
is
have to.
super intriguing. I mean, I think it's actually healthy to poke at things so that we can understand why it works, why things don't work, why other directors can try
and ask the right questions.
Correct.
Like the critical thinking. It's part of the experience of like going through art.
But I genuinely think it's the perfect film.
It is a very good
musically, acting, script writing, and directing.
My God, it is so good.
Goodbye. Shara, I fucking was rooting for you, and then you crushed my boy.
Efra, shut